registers on here.
You know, I'm looking back on like all your streams, and I just cannot believe that not one of your videos when we were doing the Lara Croft DLC, not one of them was entitled Croft Services.
Yeah, because we're not Lara Croft.
Oh my god, why did I think of that as a title?
Well, because you're not me. Croft Services.
Okay. There we go. Now open this on here and mute the tab.
Mute the tab.
Yeah, I learned how to mute tabs on Firefox.
Yeah. It's a bit inconvenient sometimes when you're going to click on another tab and you accidentally hit that instead, and it's like, what'd the sound go?
Yeah, but it comes handy when I only have like one headset and I don't want the sound coming through to make the streams weird. Anyways, hello everyone. Welcome back to PowerWash Simulator. Last time we finished up the SpongeBob special, cleaning up the paddy wagon, the invisible boat mobile, which I can say is the coolest part of the whole thing.
Well,
Really? I don't see it.
man, Chaos, that joke was completely transparent. It was totally see-through.
Oh, jeez! Don't just start. And
But-
speaking of which, and of course the mermaid lair.
The Merma lair.
Yeah, the mermaid lair.
But unfortunately now we have to say goodbye to our naughty, nautical, nonsensical neighbors and back to mucking in the muck.
In Muckingham, where we're going over to the Blake Private Airport to clean up Mr. Blake's jet.
Well,
we're
when you
gonna
think
clean
about
up
it, have
this
we
town.
ever seen... well, actually, you know what? Have we ever seen our character outside of their suits? For all we know, the SpongeBob thing just revealed that we were fish people all along.
Dun dun dun!
Tell that to the salty smell of my fur. Anyway.
Well, I would, but I feel like that... that'd be kind of weird.
You two would never have lasted in the Navy.
Alright, considering my dad's retired to the Naval Reserves right now. Anyways, Mr. Blake Thrust. Perfect timing. As you can see, I've encountered a few issues with my private jet. That's what comes from flying too close to the sun, or in this case, a volcano. And the ocean. Oh, God.
In the ocean?
Yeah. After your application and discussion with my exhibition drill, I know you're exactly who I want on the job. As you'll discover, my jet is not with its idiosyncrasies. Pardon me for mispronouncing that.
Idiosyncrasies.
Idiosyncrasies. Okay, thank you. I trust you be at your usual discreet self in return for an excellent rate. Yeah, that $800 is a pretty decent rate, if I do say so myself, Mr. Thrust.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting paid $800 in one sitting.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys. I don't think I'd be able to do it. I hate sitting on my ass for 8 hours.
Oof. Oh,
Aren't you a
God.
security guard?
Oh, God.
Yeah, but I walk around all the time while doing it.
Oh,
But
wow.
if the job is specifically to stay
Oh.
sitting for
Wow.
8 hours, I feel like I would break.
What
Is that a laser?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Well, in the movie, Thrust was basically compared to being a Captain Planet villain, or at least people who review the movie equate him to being that.
Yeah. Speaking of which, whoever is running the Wikipedia page does not seem to appreciate fun facts and references.
It's always a shame when an artist goes unrecognized in his lifetime. But posthumously, I'm gonna be huge.
Yeah, if you think that's bad, imagine how the guy who invented the invisible boatmobile felt. I just could see all of his anger and anxiety that no one would be able to see his work properly.
Anyways. Blue screen of annoyance time. And get my...
Here I come, I am Cinnamon.
Yep.
Mm.
Okay.
I know that that's an Applejack's theme, but now you got me craving Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Do you guys hear jungle noises on the other side of the wall, or is it just me?
I can't hear anything.
Anyway. Well, I do have a...
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I do have, like, it kind of low because I'm prioritizing the stream audio compared to game audio, especially with, well... Hang on.
But who knows, maybe if you are hearing jungle noises outside, maybe you guys are in the Lost World jungle from the last dinosaur movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, one thing I just want to share is, just because I find it funny, I recently got my hands on a book for my Pathfinder games called Rage of the Elements. Very cool book. Book expands about the power of the elements and whatnot. But one thing I find funny when looking through is that I got two depictions of the evil fire genies, known as Ifrits, now, and I'm going to share them. One's male, the other one's female, but I just find it funny given how semi-drastic they look to each other.
Usually text messages start popping up. I think we're having the same issue as we did with the Mars thing. And that they're going to be coming up at a later area.
Man, that's a shame, because I really was hoping to get some kind of explanation for that frickin' laser beam attached to the jet.
I know. I hope with, like, their next big update that these guys are playing, they'll fix that. So, oh my gosh, it glows!
What closed?
Look on the stream.
Oh, it glows.
Yeah, hey, Ass, be careful down here.
Yeah, did I mention that the thrust polar borer was also laser powered? Yeah, the idea that the drill would heat up and then be able to drill through the earth.
Yep.
Well, I mean, it's purple, so it's probably just ultraviolet rays. You guys probably only have a minimal risk of skin cancer.
Good thing we're wearing suits. Jinx, you owe me a nice tea.
Damn it! All right, I'll keep that in mind when I visit when I see you.
Yeah.
Well, I don't see any kind of chimney or smokestack attached to the jet, so I guess they didn't fit that reference in either.
No. Anyway, speaking of movie references, oh god, the internet's gonna be crazy this week.
How so? Is it because of the new Mission Impossible movie?
That's coming out this week too?
Apparently. I mean, I've seen basically, like, videos about it already.
Yeah. A lot of people saying it's really good, beating out, I think that Marvel has recently put out.
Yeah, that's basically to be expected, because I think that Tom Cruise actually cares about what he's making.
That's good. At least someone cares about their movies. Oh, hold on a second.
I know one thing about a very recent thing that has me a little bit confuffled / annoyed.
Alright.
Yeah. The fact that very recently Marvel decided to state that a character that was revealed to be a Skrull in their latest this thing has secretly been a Skrull all this time.
Wait, they've been a Skrull the entire time?
Well, maybe not all the time. They haven't confirmed when, but they did state they've been a Skrull longer than the show, implying that they've been in previous appearances.
Is it Don Cheadle as Rhodey? It would be hilarious if it was.
Okay, I made a mistake about like a release date, about release dates to a certain movie, but yeah.
Yeah, it's in October, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the whole internet. Yeah, the whole internet's been going crazy on and off this week because the Five Nights at Freddy's movie trailer is finally out.
Yep. And
didn't they already have that come out?
it technically did, but I think that this trailer is a bit more in depth. We actually get a sense of what the movie is going to be like.
Alright.
Well, it's something that I can basically spend while away the hours talking about because I don't like the entire Five Nights at Freddy's movie. It's basically just had me vexed for so many years ever since they announced that this thing was going to happen. Because, I mean, it basically was announced at the end of FNAF's second year, which you realize was like 5 years ago at this point. Maybe even 6? Yeah, actually, no. Like, it's 2013. FNAF is 9 years old. It's going to be 10 years old next year.
Oh,
Damn, I feel old.
Me too!
And the thing, Final Fantasy XIV's 10th anniversary is this year.
Guys,
It's only 1 year older than FNAF.
Guys, I think that we need to have an intervention. We are all clearly losing time. Where's it going? I don't know. Has anybody seen the time? Where is the time? Where's it going? Because we can't be actually spending it. I'm certainly not spending time. Are you spending time?
Well, you
Okay, Link, you're going to make yourself go crazy again. Calm down.
Well, you see, like, in the last bill that was passed somewhat recently, there's now a time tax.
God, those sons of... if I can... Well, let's just...
Excuse me?
Yes, President Biden. That's my favorite Pokemon president.
Let's...
A time tax.
Time tax.
I never thought I'd say this, but I think that's the stupidest thing I've heard so far this year.
Well, then you haven't actually been paying attention, because I think that this is actually consistent with what they would do.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I keep out of politics. Anyways, as you were saying, Link, before...
So, let's just sort of get into, like, the talking about the movie.
Oh, God.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like FNAF, what made FNAF so special was it's a combination of many things. I think it's a combination of the fact that a lot of people who got into FNAF were actually not kids, as many people expected, but were actually young adults, 90s kids, that basically grew up in a time where Chuck E. Cheese was a big deal, and they actually saw Chuck E. Cheese animatronics firsthand, and they realized that, yeah, even though these things are, like, wholesome and cute, there is something uncanny about them that is unsettling. Kind of like what people who are afraid of clowns feel like whenever they see an actual clown in real life. It's like, there's no way this thing is actually safe for kids. There's something sinister behind it. But anyways, what you're writing, LT?
Hello, reference.
Okay. But anyways, what,
That ass looks terrible. Oh, well.
with, I think I know what she's writing. She just doesn't have enough grime.
Anyways, continue.
So anyway, in addition to that, it's also the fact that with FNAF having such a deceptive way of delivering the lore, because the game feels like it's very surface level, kind of like just survive Five Nights, but those who pay attention and find out the lore realize that there's a rather in-depth story here, and you actually have to go looking for the story.
There we go, finally!
Yeah.
I imagine you're keen to learn the specifications of the jet. Yep. Okay, it wasn't a Mars rover thing. We just have to wait till the first star.
Yep.
As it's you, I'll divulge. Okay? And that's it.
You know, I have a feeling that this game is basically going to end with the PowerWash character being voted as the mayor of the town. I mean, when you think about it, he literally cleaned up this town.
Yeah. Anyways, as you were saying about the lore of FNAF.
You basically had to go looking for it, And that is what made the experience exciting, because you're not just playing the game just for the game, you're looking for the lore. And I think that's why channels like Game Theory took off the way they did. Channels like Markiplier, he basically was in it for the challenge, but with MatPat digging in and going after all the lore, that's what made FNAF exciting, because it's like, what did we miss? Did somebody pick up on something that we missed? Is this a mystery that we can even solve? And where's the mystery going? All of this was really good, but it was also very simple as well. Because when you get down to it, the story of FNAF is this basically is a Chuck E. Cheese-esque pizzeria chain that was used to be big back in the 80s and 90s, but then something started happening. A deranged serial killer got into the store and started killing children and hiding their bodies inside the animatronic suits. That really is all we actually need to know about FNAF in order to understand what's going on with the series. But I think that as the time went on and the game started introducing more and more stuff, fleshing out specifics, well, not necessarily fleshing out specifics, but instead adding more and more mysteries on top of it, there came a point where FNAF sort of became a little too complicated to actually keep straight anymore. To now, you get to the point that the franchise, instead of being a failing pizza restaurant chain like Chuck E. Cheese currently is, they are now literally the most powerful entertainment corporation on the planet, rivaling even Disney. And they literally have unlimited resources. The technology creep is literally so far advanced that they can make robots that are so sophisticated that they can pass for human beings, and there's also apparently a magical goop that can clone people. It's called Phasgoo.
What?
What?
I'm not kidding about that.
Wait. Phasgoo? What?
Phasgoo. Yep.
Okay, when did that pop up? Because that's not what I remember from hearing about the lore.
It's popped up in the books.
Oh, I never read the books.
And that's honestly one of the more frustrating things about the books, is because, for the one thing, you could throw up your hands at saying, okay, the books aren't canon to the games are the only things that matter, except we're getting to the point where now the games are starting to implement more lore from the books. So, it's like they're basically trying to combine the two. And it's getting to the point where FNAF is just too weird and too fantastic to follow anymore. I mean, Phasgoo. And if you think that's weird, I probably can't talk about this on stream, but there is a story that was released in the books that specifically is meant to sort of be a call-out to MatPat over at Game Theory. And it's actually a bit disturbing what they end up doing to him. Anyway, so... But anyways...
Stop talking! No! The fan needs to hear my theory! Stop revealing the plot for 10 minutes!
No, I don't honestly think that's how their relationship has been.
I know, but I find it funny.
I honestly think that the way it actually goes is that Scott literally leaves a trail of breadcrumbs to lead MatPat in one direction, and when MatPat starts getting it right, Scott intentionally pulls the rug out from under him and turns a hard left just to say, "Nope, gotcha again."
Yep.
Scott is a troll, and he's a liar in a lot of ways, but...
Yeah, even though he's not, like, fully involved into the games anymore, in a way, because of them...
That's what he says, but I think that it's actually just... I think that it was actually just a diversion to kind of get these people off of his back in a lot of ways.
Oh, yeah. You want to know what he was, like, about to be canceled for?
Just because he donated money to the wrong political party.
Yeah, he was like doing anything. He was like doing the most normal thing that some of you guys in the States do. Donate to the political party like any good American citizen, and people start going crazy against him for it, which I say is the stupidest thing in the world.
As an American who's seen the the political world, I can say for certainty that is certainly something that does happen.
Yeah.
A little bit
Anyways,
too
Blake's
frequently.
talking. Okay. Even though
Sorry.
this jet looks superficially like any other, it's far from it. Its fuselage is made from a graphene matrix that is lighter than air but stronger than steel. Okay.
You make them light, you make it strong. You make it light and make it strong. Oh, no
Oh,
problem.
God.
It's just impossible.
Not only can it reach speeds of over 880 miles per hour, but it's also
Graphene.
Yeah, give me a sec. I need to find that back.
The world's longest pencil.
Yeah, but it's also technically the world's largest pencil.
It'd be cool.
And I found it. Here's the anti-gravity boosters under the wings.
It'd be cool if we could go inside, because if the cabin is literally filled with hunting trophies, that would be another reference.
Yeah. But anyways, as you were saying about MatPat and FNAF and everything
Okay.
else.
So, between everything, I honestly think that as FNAF got more complex and more complicated, the less special that it became. Here was something that was brilliant in its simplicity, but now it's just so complex that it's kind of exhausting to think about. I used to get excited for Game Theory's new FNAF lore videos where they try to fit everything together, but now it's gotten so big that if you try to take everything together all at once, you're going to end up with 3 several hour-long videos, and it's just like, nobody has the time for that anymore. But, so where does the FNAF movie come in all this? I have a memory of how it went, because I honestly think that FNAF 3 was probably the perfect ending for the entire FNAF franchise, and realistically where the franchise, or at least the main timeline, should have stopped. If they wanted to do a soft reboot continuing the series, they could do that, but for the main story that we got, the first 3 games I think are the most solid. Then FNAF 4 came out and threw the world's biggest monkey wrench in there.
And the whole nightmare thing, yeah.
Yeah, nightmare thing, dream theory, all of that stuff. Everything just sort of stopped fitting together as cohesively as possible. And I think that Scott sort of realized that, because he was planning on Sister Location being its own unique thing that took place in the same universe as FNAF, but when he realized how badly FNAF 4 was being backlashed against, he's like, okay, course correction, we gotta fix this. But that's neither here nor there. The point is, the memory that I'm talking about is that FNAF 4 wasn't exactly... It basically kind of disappointed on some levels. But we sort of all kept our heads up, because that November was it was going to release the first ever Five Nights at Freddy's novel, The Silver Eyes. So I'm thinking, okay, this novel will probably have some kind of explanation, or maybe it'll retell the story of the original game, and maybe it'll give us some context clues as to what we should be looking out for next. Nope. Instead, The Silver Eyes basically is the first of a trilogy, introducing a whole new slew of characters that we don't know, never even met. The animatronics honestly kind of feel a little bit shoehorned in, and honestly, The Silver Eyes just kind of disappointed everybody. The worst part about it is that after The Silver Eyes came out and Scott started course correcting, that's when I mentioned that the books, the games, started implementing more stuff from the books in order to get into it. So you actually had to read the books in order to understand some of what was going on, because the games were just getting ridiculous at this point. The point that I'm sort of getting at here with this long, wily ramble is that when it was announced that the FNAF movie was going to come along, I honestly didn't have my hopes up, even with the idea that Blumhouse was doing it. I mean, don't get me wrong, Blumhouse is good, but I kind of feel like they're a bit too artsy for me. I feel like they basically want to try to basically make make their films as much as art as possible, but I'm just left thinking that this is a Five Nights at Freddy's movie. It sort of, well, can't be. So,
well, let's also not forget is that like they're also implementing guys in that did a lot of stuff for Jim Henson Muppets.
Yes, that was honestly the first good green flag that I basically saw. The fact that the special effects were going to be practical, because let's face it, everybody is worried that like the movie would just have the characters looking like CGI, and then you basically wonder, why are we paying to see this when we could just play the games? But so honestly, I'm not all that much against CGI. I think that on some level there would have to be a combination of both practical and computer-generated effects in order to get some of the uncanny, monstrous movements. Like, take Mangle, for example. Mangle's probably not going to be in this first movie, but when Mangle gets introduced in a sequel, because we all know that it's eventually going to happen, like, when that happens, Mangle is probably going to have to be a combo of puppet and CG. So, but the point that had me worried was that FNAF... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, Mayor Jeff Jefferson is asking... Oh, okay. Is asking us to hop back over the mansion, and Blake says the laser gun situated on the fuselage uses a state-of-the-art crystalline compound to create an energy feedback loop that instantly plasmatizes the air. Consequently, its beam reaches upwards of 3 million degrees Fahrenheit on a hot day.
Okay, so apparently he's not worried about accidentally setting the atmosphere on fire.
Yeah, no, he's not.
It instantly plasmatizes the air. I mean, that's pretty powerful stuff to play around with. You don't want to end up boiling the planet.
By the way, I have a funny feeling that one lovely group there may have done something to his place again.
I
to
hope
the mayor's.
so. He certainly.
They'll show him the power of the Holy Spirit and tomatoes.
Oh man, now I'm in the mood for eggs. So, with the FNAF movie, the thing that I was worried about was that FNAF had lost its simplicity, and therefore it was no longer something that I could recognize or love. So, I was fully expecting that, like, the FNAF movie was going to be more of the same. It was going to be overcomplicated, that it was going to be more, a little too much more than just one guy trying to survive 5 nights at the restaurant and slowly uncovering the mystery. But then, I actually watched the trailer, and I gotta say, my feelings are still mixed. Because, let me just put it this way, I liked the first half of the trailer. The second half, not so much. Because, like, let's see, that kid who played the older brother from Zathura, Walter, whatever his name is, he's the kid who's apparently playing Mike this time. And I gotta admit, I kind of imagined Mike to be someone a little bit, I'd say maybe taller, maybe a bit more physically imposing, but I think that as Mike goes, it's okay, especially considering...
I feel a little short to be Mike Smith.
Huh? Oh, the uniform. And especially the thing that I like is that there's absolutely no evidence that this Mike is in any ways related to William Afton. Because, for the one thing, if Matthew Lillard actually is Afton, his name tag says something different, but that's actually something that I had planned in one of my speculative scripts that I wrote for this thing. But,
well, a lot of fans theorize that he actually, like, that the name is a fake, that he used his mom's maiden name.
It is probably a fake, so... But anyways... If that were actually true, you would think that father and son would at least recognize each other, and there's absolutely no evidence that this version of Mike Schmidt has had his internal organs scooped out by a machine and replaced with a robotic endoskeleton. And thankfully his skin isn't purple. And and I'm not kidding about any of this, that actually happens in the games.
Yeah,
I
don't
remember
worry,
that.
I'm fully aware. I openly admit this. I watch like a lot of those like gotcha videos made with like Gotcha World app and everything. I like where people make their own alternate universes, but keep similar facts to what happened to the Aftons.
Yep, but as much as I hate how shark jumping that entire moment in Sister Location was, I still take pride in the fact that I never bought into the hype. Mike Trap was a lie, the two purple guys theory was a lie, and I was right. I was right the entire time, and I will take that to my grave. But anyways, so he basically is getting a job watching the place, and it basically begs the question of, like, this place is so run down, and basically, like, it's not doing business. Why is it even still open? And Lillard's character says that the owner just doesn't want to let go, so that's basically why it's open. I guess they only basically just need somebody to watch it at night to make sure that nobody messes with the animatronics. Okay,
They do get a little quirky at night.
Yeah. You know, I really wonder if they will have some form of phone guy in the movie. That'd be nice. And so it seems like the movie is on the right path with having the character basically being a lone security guard in the building, watching the place at night as the animatronics start coming to life, and he slowly starts to become more and more aware of what's going on. Now we basically talk about some of the things that I'm not actually into, because I ultimately knew that this movie couldn't just be a one-man show, that there had to be more characters interacting with Mike and like, actually having conversations. I fully intended that. The script that I wrote for the movie actually featured that. There are some things about it that I don't care for, though, like the fact that Mike apparently has either a daughter or at least a very young sister. Apparently the shtick is that he takes this job at Freddy's, he's going to work, and she's going to sleep. Because apparently he just can't leave her home alone while he's at work doing the night shift. So...
And I take it he doesn't have the money to hire a babysitter.
Probably not. So, he basically has the great idea of just taking her to work with him, and apparently she's the thing that sets the animatronics off. Yeah, instead, in this movie, these guys have actually been dormant for some time.
Obviously going that fast through the air generates a lot of heat, according to Mr. Thrust here. Yeah, no kidding.
He would know.
By the way, when you're done reading, come over here.
Okay. Once landed, it's possible to cook a beef bourguignon on its wings in less than 3 minutes.
Beef bourguignon.
You know, I think that's definitely a strong reference to the fact that some people in Arizona literally uses the sun to fry eggs. Anyways, what's up?
The little code here.
I think that's just mainly like the plane code or
serial number.
Yeah, or its serial number so people can identify the jet.
1A9TL5.
Eh, maybe it's a reference to something.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Let's see, it's 1A. Oh, it's A9TL5.
Yeah.
Okay, just taking it down real quick.
Take your time.
Okay, I got it. I'll have to look into that. So anyways, apparently in this version of the story, the animatronics have been dormant, but the fact that there is a child present in the restaurant seems to be what's waking them up. So instead of them roaming the restaurant looking for the man who killed them, they want a new playmate to play with. And apparently they want to make her like them. This
Oh,
is one of the
God.
things that I don't care for, because it's clear from the games that these animatronics are possessed by malevolent spirits who are really upset about the fact that their lives were ended prematurely, and now they're stuck inhabiting animatronic monstrosities. Why would they willingly want to subject another child to that?
Who knows?
It just doesn't gel right with me. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm guessing that the girl is basically going to be there so that Mike has a motivation, that he has someone that he has to save, because apparently trying to save your own skin is just not heroic or noble enough but in this world anymore. But there's also the fact that there's another character. I think that she is, I don't know, a deputy or a sheriff that works in town. Whoever she is, she's clearly meant to sort of be like a reference to Vanessa from FNAF Security Breach, because I'm like, if she ends up being named Vanessa, then I'm just probably going to just throw up my hands in defeat at that, because then
and take a nice long walk back into the like the Tokyo Sea, back into the Sea of Japan or something.
Possibly.
Okay.
I'd be feeling salty enough, but we'll see how it goes. But anyways, because then, at that point, you realize that we already know everything that we need to know about this character, the fact that she's in on it, so that sort of would ruin, like, the surprise. It seems like this character is showing up to sort of usurp what Phone Guy is doing. It seems like, because Phone Guy's entire point in the game is to not only be a sort of to be the tutorial on how to play the game, he's also a kind of exposition dump as well. So she shows up and starts explaining, like, do you know what happened here? A lot of kids went missing, and from there it's basically revealed, like, these kids were murdered, and that's what sets Mike on the journey of solving the mystery of FNAF. I don't know how I feel about that, because it's like, I don't know, this character feels like she's usurping Phone Guy. And that's the thing that a lot of people are disappointed about. The fact that as the games have gone on, Phone Guy has largely just been forgotten about. Now, don't get me wrong, he was killed back in the first game, but when you somehow bring a character back posthumously for the game's 2 sequels, it's kind of like you're not really trying when you no longer bring them back. So it's like, it's kind of upsetting, because this guy who was a huge part of the franchise, he was literally the voice of the franchise for a while there. It's like he's no longer important enough to even remember, and now he's basically being phased out of the game's actual story, to the point where the movie isn't even going to include him. Like, heck, I imagine that the first teaser trailer for this movie would have been, like, brief glimpses of Freddy's, maybe a flickering lights in the hallways as you see an animatronic moving towards you, then suddenly everything fades to black, you hear a phone ring, you hear somebody pick up, and you hear, hello, 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 if you're hearing this, then you've made some pretty bad life choices. That's what I imagined would be for the FNAF trailer, but if Phone Guy isn't going to be in it, he's not even going to be mentioned, that's kind of sad. It's kind of upsetting.
Yeah.
Now here are the things about the trailer that I really think are a bit excessive and unnecessary. This might be a little bit controversial, but part of the brilliance in FNAF's simplicity was the fact that in the first FNAF game, which I think this movie is clearly drawing the most inspirational cues from, the best part about it is we didn't have all the information that we have now. In fact, we only had the barest minimum of information. We knew that some time ago, 5 children went missing and their bodies were never recovered. Somebody had killed these kids, and we have no idea who they were. I mean, sure, we got some kind of notice that the person who was responsible was supposedly apprehended, but we don't know what their fate was. We don't know if they managed to escape or get out on bail, or if they were prosecuted and sentenced. We don't know anything. All we know is that the kids are missing, and then the animatronics start acting weird. They start smelling bad, and then they bit somebody. Was that the bite of 87? Anyways.
Why did you bite me?
That's all we really needed to know, because that's what kept us coming back for more. The Five Nights at Freddy's 2 comes out, and we get a brand new FNAF location with all new animatronics that somehow takes place in the past. Yeah, the technology creep on this franchise is really wonky, to the point where you have to basically throw up your hands and admit every single time a new game comes out, science undergoes a paradigm shift. I'll explain why that joke is funny later. But anyways, let's see. But with FNAF 2, not only are there more animatronics and more danger, but there's also more lore. We actually get a sense of who and what has been behind all these killings thanks to the minigame. The mysterious purple guy. He shows up at every single scene of the crime and seems to be the thing that is responsible for all these tragic events surrounding the children, starting with that one child who was left outside during the birthday party. And then it all just sort of ballooned out from there. First one kid, then 5 kids, and then, I mean, it's never actually been confirmed, but I'm pretty sure that there are, like, supposed to be 11 murder victims, and so far 5 of them have been completely unaccounted for. But anyways, we now have a sort of avatar for who's responsible for all this. It's this purple guy. We don't know who he is, but he certainly got our attention. So, what could possibly sort of be revealed after that? Well, that's when FNAF 3 happens, with basically the revelation in the minigames that apparently sometime after he basically was arrested, but they couldn't basically convict him with any evidence because they couldn't find the bodies, he sneaks back into the Freddy's establishment, destroys all the animatronics, and tries to basically recover any evidence of his crimes, only to then be confronted by the literal spirits of his victims. And then he does the stupidest thing that he could do. He puts on the golden Bonnie suit thinking that it's going to protect him. And that's when he gets his just desserts. That's basically when we realize that the spring animatronic suit that we've been playing with the entire game is not possessed by the spirit of some kind of dead child, but is actually possessed by the spirit of a serial killer. And he's trying to kill us. Yeah. That's why I think that FNAF 3 is really underrated, because that's when you realize that the stakes are getting pretty high. But it seemed like a great way to end the franchise. You put the spirits of the other characters to rest, and you have this final showdown with the actual killer of the game. That's basically, I think, back when the story really mattered to Scott, because it's like, you had your first 2 games that were really hard, really challenging. He threw all kinds of animatronics at you, but in the 3rd game, it's a literal one-on-one confrontation. It's between you and the killer, and it seems fitting because all this time the animatronics have been trying to kill you because they thought you were him. So now you get a chance to finally confront this guy, have this little one-on-one showdown, and you manage to beat him. Yeah, there's a whole lot of potential for FNAF 3, and I really feel like people should start acknowledging the potential that it has.
Where are these elevator things?
Elevator?
They're on here.
They're on where?
Up here. As I think it is.
Oh, you got it!
Is it done?
Not quite. I think the other one on the other side is still...
Oh, there it is. Got it. Okay.
We're still not done. What the heck?
Fuselage wiring. Anyways, it's the side one.
So anyways, with the FNAF movie, I feel like, much like the Silver Eyes book, we are getting too much too quickly. Like, this movie, I mean, maybe it might not. I honestly think that the first movie could have all been about the confrontation between Mike and the animatronics and Mike having to survive them. And the rest of the mystery could come in installments later. That's basically how it worked with the games. I think that it can work with the movies if you have a director that's actually bold enough to try. But the fact that basically Matthew Lillard is being hyped up in this movie, he probably is Afton. I mean, I'm pretty sure that, well, let's just get into it.
It's confirmed he is Afton.
Let's get into it. The fact that the trailer literally has Springtrap showing up, and the fact that he is going to actually confront Mike in the game, it feels like, well, it honestly feels a bit confusing, because especially when you consider the fact that Afton is actually supposed to have already been spring-trapped and sealed up in the back room at this point in the franchise, and I can prove that. I know that I can prove it, but
Where are these vortex generators?
Vortex generators. Yep, what you need is an electron accelerator for that. All I need is one lousy electron accelerator for a vortex generator. But can I build it? No. You know, for some reason, I really don't think that it's actually, like, safe for the plane to have people walking all over it. I mean, I know that these things are made to be built tough, but I feel like basically people standing on it is kind of, I don't know, iffy. But anyways,
look, Blake, I'll have you know, I've been losing a lot of weight, so I don't think there'll be any problem with me potentially breaking into the plane like my friend once broke one of my chairs.
Ah.
He was very heavy back then, but he's a lot lighter now.
But
that.
But to finally get to my point, it's that Springtrap being in this movie, I think, is a bit excessive, because now we don't really have the mystery of the man behind the slaughter, because we're literally going to meet the man behind the slaughter, and odds are this movie is going to end with him getting spring-locked, and that's, I just feel like there's not going to be the air of mystery. I mean, I know that we know the mystery, but people who don't know the FNAF franchise, they don't know the mystery, and now they're never going to be able to experience the how special FNAF was and why we got so into it the way that we did, and it was part of the mystery. The mystery was a huge part of that, so
yeah. I definitely agree with you there that they that having Springtrap show up in the first movie feels But the only way I could see it working is if it's like a after credit scene, like maybe just Story Night showing off maybe just that one trailer bit from the third game for the trailer they had for the third game where you just see the suit malfunctioning and doing its thing.
Yeah, that would be good. I admit, but I think that basically like what I'm sort of getting into is this kind of. How do I put this? With FNAF, the Springtrap story. Another thing that I really don't like is that apparently, well, Golden Freddy is also going to be in this movie, but instead of being the ghostly apparition Golden Freddy that we know, he's going to be a spring-lock suit, and Afton is apparently going to put Mike inside of it and basically use the suit as a torture device. So it's like, okay, what does this mean? Is Afton playing some kind of game with Mike, like Jigsaw style? Does he have to basically, like, I don't know, survive until 6 a.m. without the spring locks going off, and then he can get out of the suit? Oh, wait, I see a little glowy bit.
Where?
Under the wing.
Under the wing?
Yeah, those tiny little silver nubs, like, on the right wing.
God damn it.
There it is.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Leg.
Yep, there we go. Done.
Except you're welcome. I usually don't say things like that because, like, you guys are actually far ahead of me because I'm only watching this secondhand, so... I usually
Okay.
assume that you guys find it by the time I finish talking about it.
Yeah. Alrighty, another exemplary example of power watching. I admit I was skeptical of your process of cleaning stains created at such high temperatures, but once you've exceeded my expectations. But once again, you've exceeded my expectations. I'm exceeding yours. Feel free to use this hanger for any larger or odd jobs that you may pick up in the future. Oh my gosh, he's letting us borrow his hanger.
Awesome. Just mind the suitcases full of stacks of $100 bills and guns back there. You don't need to worry about any of those.
Do you expect me to talk? No, Mr. Bond. I expect you to wash.
I expect you to wash.
I think we have time to clean a boat.
Yeah, clean the Frolic boat. $500.
Yeah.
What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah. Dirtfinder, as you are mesmerized by the principle of Archimedes as I am, there's barely a day that goes by when I don't undertake some kind of minor water displacement experiment. Today I'm seeing what happens when I pack all my worldly goods into my Frolic boat and take it for a trip down the river someplace. I granted you full access to my property to assist with the clean, which I'll be rescinded following the removal of the final fleck. I'd appreciate if you keep this between ourselves. I don't want anyone to get the ridiculous idea that I'm skipping town.
He's fleeing.
Yeah, he's totally skipping town. Whatever you say, Mayor Jefferson the 13th.
The master of Lake Town. You see, this is why I think that the Dirt Finder is going to be elected the new mayor.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
So,
remember when you said that that one character is going to be named Vanessa and you're going to have to throw up your hands?
Yeah.
Get ready to throw up your hands. The girl's name is Vanessa Monroe.
I hate being right all the time. Oh well.
Okay.
Her last name is Monroe now, huh?
Yeah. Oh, hang on. Harper's going on. Hey, it's Harper. What else is going on in Buckingham? I have no idea. Just read a real piece of real. Just read a piece of real news now. The town with no cats. Excuse me. Is there really not a single cat left?
No, I
Wait,
think that they're all.
What? No!
What?
There's no kitties in Buckingham!
Let's not jump to conclusions. It could be that they're all just in hiding. Like, maybe they've been sneaking around so much that they can't find them.
Help!
Oh my god!
Help me!
Okay,
Chaos,
stop
what are you
spraying and
doing?
move back. Okay, stop spraying and move back.
But it's so effective cleaning it like this.
Let's all lend a
God,
helping
nope.
hand. Mr.
There
Chaos
you
can't
go.
do it alone. Just squirt his water to fly around and clean the sludge that's on the ground.
Well, how do you feel about
Wow, I didn't see that one coming.
My chest hurts. I'm laughing too hard.
Well, at least that cheered you up.
Yeah, but seriously, her last name is Monroe.
Yeah,
I guess that's better than what they're trying to do in the games with her name being Vanessa A. Yeah, because we already aren't supposed to be confused as to who this character might be. Yeah, basically they're trying to make some kind of connection between her and Afton, especially considering that her father's name apparently was Bill.
Yeah.
Bill Nye, the science guy.
Uh-oh, Harper's talking. I also read in the Daily Opinion that the mayor's water pipeline is just the tip of the iceberg. Whatever he's doing with all that water, that's the dodgy bit.
Don't let them know that's all part of a scheme to power up our water.
Maybe he's cutting corners on the town reservoir.
I don't know.
Or maybe he's basically stockpiling the water so that he could sell it to a neighboring county. Because that's basically kind of like the situation that both my sisters are in. They're currently living in Dallas, which is in like a county that's next to the county that I'm living in. They apparently don't have a reservoir in that county, and they have to get their water imported from my county. So,
Oh, jeez.
that's why their water bills are over $300 a month.
Ouch!
And here I am, sitting on a cool, pretty 25.
Okay, note to self, when moving to another place, make sure the place has its own reservoir.
Don't worry, I believe my place does.
Good.
Speaking of which, is Georgia still in a drought? If we are, it's been 15 years.
There we go.
But here's basically the big thing about me not really caring all that much for William Afton / Springtrap being in the first movie, because he was also in the Silver Eyes novel, and I feel like his presence just sort of threw everything off because, well, for the one thing, the reveal of him was just too dang easy, even though in that book he's actually going by the name of Dave. He's going under a pseudonym by the name of Dave or something.
Dave Miller, if I recall.
Dave Miller.
Yeah, that's
on...
Yeah, that's what I learned from some of the gotcha videos I've watched.
Yeah, but anyways, and he basically lures Charlie and her friends down into the FNAF location and tries to kill them. The thing that I don't really care for is that this sort of de facto... Oh, go ahead.
Rumor has it he's funneling the water to some billionaire guy running an illicit mining rig.
Oh.
Can't be true, can it? And is it related to the missing cats?
Oh wait.
No.
I don't see how those particular points are connected, but you know, crazier stuff has happened.
We cleaned a drill.
Oh, Blake, say it isn't so.
Oh God, poor Link's heart is breaking.
I mean, his great-grandpa might have been crazy, but at least he actually had honor.
Okay, now to get up on the boat, and hopefully I don't play Jesus.
Got it.
You hope you don't play Jesus. Well, that's kind of a hard role to land.
Oh, here we go again!
Damn it, I got thwarted by the damn ladder. Eh. I can't put it on the ground. No, it's gonna get in my way from now.
Because trust me, if you want to play Jesus, you're gonna have to basically get some ab work done.
I'm not sure if I would have played
go.
Jesus. I feel
Oh my
like some people
God!
would... What?
There are cat prints up here!
Toodles!
Yep.
See? With evidence. Now we follow the trail.
Mm-hmm. And we got ourselves another view.
Yay, welcome to the stream.
Yeah, welcome! Looks like he jumped up on here, ran out here, and probably ran away somewhere.
But no, I think that I think that I wouldn't mind doing a gig playing Jesus. After all, it's just hanging around.
Blink!
Couldn't help it. Really couldn't.
But yeah.
So, the fact that, like, in the Silver Eyes novel, because he basically is wearing the Springtrap suit, he sort of becomes the ringleader of the animatronics. He even flat out says, they won't attack me like they will attack all your friends because I'm one of them. They don't recognize me as a human. They'll just see me as an animatronic like them. So, the fact that basically, like, it sort of is making FNAF into a bit of a Saw situation. Don't get me wrong, I'm actually kind of, like, not all that opposed to, like, the Saw movies, but it's like, this really isn't how these things are supposed to go. These things have their own identities for a reason. If you basically, like, end up going this, then this once unique thing is going to become wholly derivative.
Mm-hmm. Of course, I usually avoid a lot of horror stuff like I would a bad rash, with my limit being that of Bendy and the Ink Machine.
I need to friggin' get to the Dark Revival already.
Remind me, we still haven't seen the anything on the sequel to that game yet.
Bendy and the Dark Revival? Oh, it's out on PC, but I'm waiting for the console version.
Ah, fair enough.
Yeah, it actually came out last November, and I was supposed to have played it by now, but things happened. And now I basically have got such a huge backlog that I'm honestly paralyzed about starting a new project.
The worst thing that it's only starts happening once I finally split town. Uh-oh.
Harper has split town?
Although they mustn't grumble, the desert dig I'm working on is amazing. You should come visit. Oh, he's off.
Dig.
Oh, he's off on an archaeological dig.
Isn't Harper supposed to be your boss or something?
I think so. I'm just not sure. Okay.
But yeah, kind of incomprehensive, but that's all my thoughts on, like, the FNAF movie trailer. Half of this movie feels like something that I could be excited about. The other half, not so much.
Hey, you know what I have to say about all this?
What?
No wonder Rhodey got replaced with the scroll so easily. The scroll just went in while everybody was talking about FNAF.
Okay. Woo!
There's something else that I find weird about the trailer, because apparently Mike is going to have visions of the 5 murdered kids, and, of course, like, pretty much just like how the fan base does it, the kid who basically, it's the orange-haired kid who ends up being Foxy.
Yeah, I think they call him Fritz.
Hey, say what you want, but I'm glad that at least we got some ginger representation. All the roles are being taken away.
Yeah, you got me there.
Even if it's to get murdered, at least they get to be around for it.
Yeah, I think I'll just stick with like a lot of the gacha videos I've been watching, especially since some of them make it very wholesome for the Aftons.
Yeah, because you totally want to think wholesome family values when the father is a deranged serial killer.
By the way, out of curiosity, but what do you guys know about the Phantom of the Opera? Not the Phantom of the Oprah, that's something completely different.
I actually know a lot. Why?
Oh, I was just curious. Yeah, since I've been watching a music video of someone doing a cover of one of the songs from there.
Yeah, I've only heard of Phantom of the Opera because Nightwish did a beautiful cover of it. Well, before they had to replace the singer because she had an ego too big for their liking. And that was the first singer. Oh, Mayor Jeff Jefferson. By the way, Dirt Finder, you might find people asking questions over the coming days, months, and years. Uh-oh.
Hey, don't ask me. I'm just the power
Just tell them
washer.
that you don't know where I went, only that I went by car. Sure.
Oh, and if you see the treasure box lady, do not tell her where I am. Look at me, right here. No. Listen to me, you little nuggets. I got about in 3 days. Already kind of made a name for myself, and not in the way that you want.
Yeah. Anyways. But yeah, and then they had a second singer, but she quit to do her own personal things, and they let her go peacefully. Now we got a third singer, and she sings just as well as both of them. She has a style that fits both of them. Well, the first one has like a bit of an opera style. The other one has like a bit more like a rough rock style. This third one, it does both. I forgot her name. But apparently, while the others are like from like some areas of Scandinavia, this recent singer, she's Dutch.
Interesting.
Yep.
If I remember correctly, from a little research that I did do from the original story, the female singer is actually from Scandinavia.
Well, the first one, yeah.
No, I mean like in the actual story. Sorry, the character.
Oh, okay.
So what's the topic? Why'd you bring it up?
Well, I figured it'd be something interesting. After all, we were just finished talking about a elaborate madman who is really good with technology. I figured why not switch to another parent madman with technology. Except, instead of focusing on children, he focuses more or less on operas and his one lady friend that he likes.
Yeah, it really is a tragic story because here's this guy. He basically is pretty much on top of the world, and someone basically decides to throw acid in his face, or depending on the version, he, I don't know, gets burned in some other ways. Anyway, he gets
in the original version, he was just born ugly, and his mother hated the tar out of him.
Ah, that's even more upsetting. So he's a Festus.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's a Festus. But I think that I've seen like the versions where he actually was this good-looking guy, but then some accident happens that causes him to be disfigured. Everybody thinks he's dead, but he ends up surviving, and he ends up hiding in the caverns underneath the opera house. So, and then he basically just becomes absolutely obsessed with this beautiful singer and decides, I'm gonna make this girl's career for her.
And it causes him to come out and murder everyone.
Not quite.
First he tries intimidation.
Okay.
I was hoping that Chaos would chime in and like add something to that.
Well, let's see. From what I remember from what I read up of the story, granted, it might be some differences between, but I know he actually came to her pretending to be a angel because the girl's father was very religious, and he said, "Oh, I'll ask God to send you a angel of music or whatnot," and that he did, and he taught her specifically how to sing as good as she ends up becoming. And naturally, this guy's also trained at being a ninja, because he's able to go around the opera house without too many people catching on where he is. And he's a master of robotics, so he can make all sorts of neat little traps and whatnot.
Nice.
Yeah. And and I wish I remember the girl's name. But I know that as part of trying to help the guy's career, naturally he pretty much tries to promote her. But the previous lady, who was otherwise the star role, who was big on the heavier side, was doing everything in her power to make sure that her life was miserable and that she didn't get as many fans, using her connection, her own fans, to try to mitigate it as much as possible.
If
it
I
does not
recall
work.
correctly, that girl's name is, the main lead girl is named Christine.
Yeah,
Yep.
there we go. I think it's Christine as well.
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember, this will sound really weird coming from me, but and I've heard of the Phantom of the Opera as well from this manga I once read called the Kendaichi Case Files, and there was like, and the first book depicts him helping out his school's theater club with a play of Phantom of the Opera in the wake of a girl who committed suicide due to bullying and jealousy.
Oh my.
Yeah, what happened was that the girl was only trying to scare her with a little bit of acid on her skirt and knocked over a whole cabinet of chemicals, causing her to get severely burned. And of course, the guy who loved her wanted revenge, so he took advantage of a school of his club in order to commit crimes a la Phantom of the Opera. Unfortunately, there was an unfortunate victim among this, and that is the teacher, who discovered an important clue and was killed for it. Eventually, it was discovered about everything and everything else, and he also ended up having a tragic end.
Yeah.
And it also was revealed there was a lot more going on in his life than what people initially saw of him, with his parents gone and then his lover, and the fact that he was pretty much stuck in this life of despair after everything.
Yeah. To go on a little bit about what I remember of the story, a little bit more. Part of the conflict comes that Christine is being that, well, she naturally gets a little bit pissy, especially after she gets kidnapped. That her angel of music was actually just a guy in a weird mask. And don't worry, she may get kidnapped, but the Phantom of the Opera is many things. He is a master ninja. He is an expert assassin. So he is a master of clockwork, but he is most definitely not going to violate a woman's decency or whatnot without consent.
Keep in mind, Miss Ringwald, this is merely an abduction. But yeah, like the whole thing with him basically pretending to be this angel of music and teaching her to sing his compositions, it really basically really comes off as creepy when the real context of who he is and his intentions comes out, because it's like you have this thing that you have come to trust over such a long time, and then it ends up being something sinister. That's like one of the things that really kind of is extra frightening, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's basically kind of like, I think I've seen these stories like on either the Twilight Zone or Creepshow, or maybe just like any kind of vignette where some guy basically digs up some kind of old radio, and then a voice from the radio literally starts giving him good financial advice, and these pieces of advice end up always paying off for him, and so he keeps following the radio's advice on literally everything, until eventually the thing starts giving him poor advice, which he follows to a T, and it ends up ruining him.
Oh my freaking god!
What, you just realized it's a cat on here? Oh my freaking god.
Ah!
It's cute. It's cute.
There we go.
Captain Whiskers.
Yeah. I think it's supposed to be like some sort of gold statue of Ulysses or something.
Ulysses S. Cat.
And this is called the Magnificus.
And yet, the statue's still not clean. What the heck?
Yeah, there's like a lot of nooks and crannies in this thing. Hey!
Damn this statue.
Oh yeah, the punchline
There
with
we go.
the punchline with the radio is that it was actually kind of like a walkie-talkie, and there was somebody on the other end actually giving him all this advice with the intention that they build him up just to knock him down.
Wow, what a dick move.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those vignettes and short stories can really sometimes be messed up. I think I remember reading this one short story where a doctor basically is like walking on the street. He just purchases himself a hot dog. He realizes that there's a homeless man sitting on the side of the street, hungry. He gives the homeless man his hot dog, and the homeless man promptly chokes on it and dies, despite the fact that the doctor is like really trying to save him. The rest of the story is literally the doctor going insane with grief because now he's thinking if I didn't give him the hot dog, he wouldn't have died. And so he literally ends up driving himself crazy.
There we
Any
go.
chance you could clean the town's monster truck? Some prize donuts are poured concrete all over it. What? Okay.
Sarah. Well, the Magnificus is all shiny and ready to go.
Yep.
Yep.
Another top-notch dirt. Another top job, Dirt Fine. Much obliged. Hopefully there's still enough water left in the river to ride this out of town. Oh, nearly forgot. Should that cursed grateful cat show its face at any point, it's yours. I washed my hand of the thing and remembered what my mama and grandmama before her said. If you can't say anything nice about the mayor, don't say anything well. Farewell, JJ the 13th. Well, folks, we got ourselves a pet cat.
Cursed, ungrateful cat. Ulysses.
Speaking of cat things,
Monster truck.
that thing looks suspiciously like a cat.
Man, people in this town really like their cats, don't they?
And I wonder why the cat's disappearing is kind of an emergency.
So, do we have time to handle this quick little job?
Oh, go, not again. Oh, damn it.
Well, you guys basically knocked that out in about 24 minutes, maybe 30.
Yeah, why not? And besides, this one's of a lower job. But first, attention, folks. We got everything.
Everything.
Everything but the skins.
Ooh.
Oh. Let's see. Bingo. First I'll get that, and then that. I'll just get all the suits. Oh, wait. I gotta build up $1,000 to get the pro gold, but that'd be easy.
I wouldn't
But
be
I
so
wanted
sure.
the flower power.
The game feels like it's winding down.
Mm-hmm.
I
Hey,
mean,
there's
who
always the
knows?
other DLCs. Anyways. So, the search of Ulysses the cat has finally been called off, though not before we chase every wild goose out there. Even old Frida in the lighthouse claims she saw him in the distance, speeding across the rocks faster than any animal she's seen. Though when I pressed her and asked if he had wheels, she looked down at her feet and nodded. Anyway, we were driving back to the base when a group of miners, fears of not being paid by the mayor, blocked the road and symbolically poured a load of concrete all over the monster truck. How that solves the problems is anyone's guess, but it sure gives you one heck of a job to do.
Well, from what in my knowledge of protests in recent years, that seems like it makes sense to me. As
Yep.
in, I have seen people do that in real life.
Yep.
Actually, I've seen people do something dumber, like gluing their hands to the asphalt.
Well, we're making our way over to the hangar. Our first job in our new cleaning area.
You just know that when Ulysses finally does pop up, he's just gonna be, it's gonna be like so mundane. Like,
Oh my god. It does look like a cat!
Are you sure these guys don't actually own the cat?
Do you want to hear some crazy theories about the missing cats that we heard out on the streets? Sure. Okay, it looks like we're gonna have to wait till the first star then.
I'm guessing that maybe it might be breeding season.
Look at what the tires are called!
What?
They're called the pulverizers.
Nice.
Oh, jeez. A fitting name for a pair of monster truck wheels. Oh, what am I doing? Yeah. How do I change the... No, that's my clothes. Ah, this. Bingo! Much better! How does it look?
Nice.
Well, put those pedals to the metal.
Anyways. On more happier topics, last night I started to go back into well, I didn't exactly go back, I just been like, anyways. I started listening to this one particular Brony song that someone made.
And what
and
was
remixes.
that?
It's called Antonym. It's made by Violet Pony. It's very good. The reason why I call it a Brony song because a lot of the stuff in the music video features Fluttershy in a little hoodie that's based on gear from the Invader Sim series. calling her Flood Gear Shy. And basically it's a song about pretty much being yourself, enjoying your life and everything else. Well, making a lot of references to like the early 2000s and everything else.
Man, Gurr music and dancing. I can't help but think about that clip of him dancing in the club set to Hey Mr. Wonderful.
Ironically enough, one of the visual references is Fluttershy doing the caramel dancing.
Yeah. By the way, can you clean up the back real quick for me?
The what?
The back of the monster truck. Go.
He clearly wants to show you something.
But I just need time.
If you're looking for that one particular little hole, there isn't one.
Not with that attitude. See? I even count 2.
He got me. Wait. Oh my god!
What?
Where's the freaking license plate?
Meow.
Meow. I'm guessing the FL stands for feline. Anyways. So yeah.
I'm not done yet. Go back to the back.
Okay, I'm going back to the back. Jeez. Oh, some folks think a shady organization sacrificed the cats to the volcano to prevent an imminent eruption. Apparently, all fingers are currently pointed at Marvin from the Old Boys Club.
Oh, of course. It's always the old guys.
Utterly ridiculous, but it's gaining traction in rural communities.
Naturally.
I find this so incredibly weird because the way that it goes is that in the United States, the stray cat problem is like such a noticeable crisis that people in communities start complaining at the amount of stray cats that are roaming around the streets completely unattended for. And now, here it is, a town where all the cats go missing, and suddenly everybody loses their minds.
Mm-hmm. By the sounds of things, it's not just stray cats, it's pet cats too.
Yeah, I know.
Alright, you can come back to the front now. I think I got it more or less all set up for you.
Oh, yeah! Oh my god, it's got a little blip!
Yep.
Eyes!
I gotta admit, those eyes are kind of creepy, though.
They're not creepy, they're beautiful.
Oh well, like, as
Yeah.
for, like, the mystery of all these missing cats, the things that we definitely don't need to worry about is that apparently there's no pie shop located anywhere in town.
The vegan community suspects their secret ingredient of the muckin' hamburger. But there's been a statement from Ella herself denying it, telling them to stick their celery where the sun don't shine. Ella claims that her burger's unique flavor is due to extraordinary high salt content.
Seriously, folks, is it just me? It can't be a coincidence, right?
Yeah. Anyways, as you were saying before I got interrupted by that text.
Well, I was mostly making a reference to Sweeney Todd, the demon barber of Fleet Street.
Okay.
When Todd first meets Mrs. Lovett, she basically explains that her competition, Mrs. Mooney, her pie shop is doing well because all of her neighbors' cats are disappearing.
That's creepy.
Yep.
The plot was the two are completely unrelated, but the fact people just go there for their missing cats, and that just makes them, work out.
I mean, I doubt it because like the play basically like flat out implies it, but in fact that's what gives them the idea later on to well, you know what they do.
Yeah, murder.
Pretty much. Business never better using only pussycats and toast. But a pussy's only good for 6 or 7 at the most. And they can compare as far as taste.
I have to say, I've seen a lot of monster truck designs, and this one's the cutest.
I'm not surprised you think that.
I'm gonna watch behind his little ears.
You know, I find this so ironic. Aren't cats supposed to clean themselves?
Well, yeah, but then there will come a time in their life where they can't really clean themselves.
Oh.
And that's where pet groomers come in. You're kidding me.
What? What?
The
name
truck
of the
is
truck.
named Ulysses!
Bump, bump. Wait, does that mean this is our monster truck now?
No. I think it was named after the cat.
That mayor, this town really likes that cat.
Yep. Woo,
More
those
than
are
the mayor
bright.
does.
I mean, that whole thing with the vegan community accusing McMucky Burger basically kind of reminds me of this favorite joke that I had back, like, when I was working at Wendy's when the pandemic started. But probably shouldn't say it on the stream because I don't want to upset LT.
No! I love cats.
Yeah. Well, in the meantime, to go back to the conversation we had about the Phantom of the Opera, so one thing I like about the, albeit original story, is that, how it ends is, well, so Christine gets, kidnapped, so, Christine's childhood best friend and, a guy who knows of, the Phantom go to try to rescue her, only get caught by the traps, and then Christine has to pretty much save them.
Okay, anyways, we just got a request to clean a Ferris wheel next episode, and then Sarah comes in with some crackpot theory from some people saying that the cats are aliens.
Honestly, they might actually be on the money with that one.
Yeah, so everyone at Roddy's Biker Shack thinks all cats are aliens, that they've been on some kind of recon mission to Earth, and they finally got all their intel and gone home to report. Apparently, we should expect an invasion of extraterrestrial super cats in a couple of months.
I don't think that they need to do a full-out invasion, because when you realize it, cats basically have already got it so good that they literally can just take over if they want to. Seriously.
And Bree Strobe is asking, is this the number of the Power Washer? Any chance you get back down to the carnival? Our Ferris wheel's getting super spicy. Yep.
Because, I mean, we basically invite them into our homes. They basically treat us completely indifferently. But then, and they only come to us for attention when it's on their terms. And they get free food, water, and board whenever they basically want it.
Yeah, basically, what some people say is that we may have domesticated dogs, but cats basically domesticated themselves.
Pretty much. Invaders.
Honestly, I think they are the cutest little alien invaders in the whole world, in the whole galaxy.
Probably.
Except for foxes, of course.
Yeah.
Foxes are basically a canine build with feline software.
Oh yeah. In fact, Casual Geographic did a video recently all about foxes.
Where do you think I got that joke from?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, yeah, I think he saw that too, given how that joke was literally from there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and I definitely honestly say that's my favorite video.
If anything is going to be the alien species, it's definitely foxes. Like I even after watching that video, I was like half tempted to send you a message on Discord claiming, "Are you an alien?"
Yeah, my own theory. Okay. Cats go wherever dinner's best. Of course.
I mean, has anybody checked down by the docks at the fishing cannery?
Someone somewhere's probably out in the sticks has some real nice tuna steaks, and they're all holing up there for a while.
Tuna steaks.
That makes sense. You know, that is like the most logical... Oh, they'll be home soon enough. Yeah. I definitely feel that is the most logical theory. The food.
It kind of reminds me of this episode of The Simpsons where the kids notice that their family cat Snowball is getting like really fat lately, and yet they're not really changing anything about her diet, and so they end up basically letting her outside one day, and they end up following her to see where she goes. She slips her collar off and then starts sneaking into somebody else's yard. Apparently the cat has been two-timing them. She has a completely secret family that she pretends to be their cat for so that she can get free food.
Yep.
I feel like there's a good clip that would summarize that well. I find it.
Kind of reminds me of the Looney Tunes skit with the dog that basically has a similar arrangement with a cat. What? No gravy?
Here we go. I feel like this is the best way to describe this. This I would summarize the reaction.
Okay.
Sir,
Not
he
gonna-
left you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say what clip it is, people.
Sir, he already left you the moment you gave him the power up.
That beep. Ugh.
I actually had this conversation with Hayos the other day. I literally come across like so many channels on YouTube that somehow managed to get famous by simply doing Team 4-Star impersonations. And I'm left thinking, I could basically do every single one of Team 4-Star's characters. Maybe I should steer into the skid and actually give it a try.
Well, never know until you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just really wonder how I would begin.
Yeah, just be careful that you're not hired by an animation studio who threatens to sue you for continuing that side project. Because that's basically what happened with Team 4-Star. They stopped the Dragon Ball Abridged series because of that.
Oh, so they did try to basically move out into the world.
I know the guy who played as Cooler and Doctor
Jiro.
Jiro. He ended up becoming Ainzel Gon in the anime Overlord.
Yeah, I still don't get how that happened.
You got lucky.
He has a good voice. I'll be honest, the voice sounds really great. Can't imagine another actor for the role, to be honest.
On the other hand, there's like another anime where there's another YouTuber that's voiced as a character. I forget the anime, but there's this guy that I've heard of named Corpse Husband who does video game stuff and horror theories, and he has this condition where it causes his voice to be very, very deep and gravelly. And someone thought that was a good idea for an anime character, so they hired him on.
And his handle is Corpse Husband.
Mm-hmm.
And when he gets home from work every day, he must be dead tired.
Well, I can guarantee you that his wife is.
You guys are bad, bad, bad!
Oh, come on now. If I'm so evil, then may God strike me down where I stand. Ha! Nice try, jackass. Next time, bring it your A game.
Well, luckily, it's been like over the first 10 minutes, so I'm not going to stop the cursing.
Yep,
Man.
pretty much.
By the way, come over here.
How do you get under there anyway?
I crouched.
I mean, basically, with the episode basically talking about cats as much as it has, I've been really trying to keep this PG.
Oh my god!
Because, you know, monster trucks drive over other cars. The idea that if anybody can read that, I'd be in the car while it happens. Oops.
Oh gosh. There we go. Now I can get a more thorough clean under here. Oh my god. This monster truck is just a full barrel of laughs. Ah.
97%.
By the way, were you spraying me on purpose earlier, or was that accidental?
That was for the bad joke.
Yep, you get the hose.
Uh,
I resisted making another joke follow-up for that because I have self-control.
Yeah, well, just keep in mind, you start mouthing off again, LT's gonna have to clean up your act.
you too, if you're ever in this game.
Oh boy, I can't wait for the Godzilla crossover.
If that does happen, well, I don't know.
At this point, I'm willing to accept everything, considering we have SpongeBob to Space Marines.
Truth be told, I think I'd rather have a Jurassic Park crossover, but let's face it, Universal is being they're just being jerks right now.
Yeah, speaking of movie studios, have I ever told you that I told my sister about the whole issue with Disney right now?
Yep, and she... Basically, I remember you mentioned last week that when she found out about what Kathleen Kennedy was doing, like, she basically, like, called her a Karen or something.
Yep! After, of course, she took, like, a bit of a... After she, took some weed.
Took a bit of the old,
Yeah.
Yeah. Little Acapulco gold.
Yeah, because she didn't believe me at first, and then she asked me, "Okay, can you repeat that again, slowly?" Disney had called out the head of Lucasfilm for her bad movies, and she tried to call them out. Oh.
I mean, that whole situation is basically like, it reminds me of this moment from Drake and Josh. Their younger sister Megan is preparing to prank them by putting a bucket full of slime above their door so that when they open it, it falls on them and slimes them. And this causes some kind of accident where somebody opens the door, the bucket falls on their head, they get hurt, and Josh is like, "Megan, why was there a bucket on top of our door?" And you know what her response was? "Why was your door under my bucket?" Why was your door under my bucket? That's exactly what it feels like. And I think I remember mentioning after Hazel's comment that I basically said, Kathleen Kennedy is the queen mother of the Karen species.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that right,
Yep.
Chaos? I'm pretty sure we can trace it all back to her.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly has enabled all the ones in Lucasfilm.
Yep. We gotta pull all that out by the roots.
Jeez, these tires got a lot of grooves in them.
I'm sorry, but you've thrown off the Emperor's groove.
Ah, there we go. Finally. Okay, what else?
What?
Door
Yes,
handles.
the dreaded 99, but it's not actually 99%. But everyone else feels like that.
And of course the media is like starting to call out Disney for their nonsense. Bob Iger is trying to pretend like everything's fine, and everybody is like clearly shouting, "No, it's not. We know what's really going on." Oh, I spent so much time talking about the FNAF movie that I never really got around to talking about the problems that could basically be happening, considering Hollywood is basically shut down.
Oh, right, they have... Oh, yeah, there's that strike.
Yep, it started out as a writer's strike. I honestly didn't know that they still had writers. But now it looks like the actors have followed suit too. Now, the FNAF movie is finished. It's basically probably in the last stages of editing and whatnot. A lot of people are speculating that that the strike is going to cause problems because it basically means that the actors who played in the movie can't really compete in the media tour that the movie would typically have in order to create hype for the movie itself. So that basically, like Matthew Lillard and the guy who's playing Mike maybe whoever is playing Vanessa. They're probably not going to do media appearances promoting the movie, nothing like that.
The kitty car is done!
Yay!
Now let's ride.
Well, the point is, a lot of people who actually know FNAF are thinking, FNAF really doesn't need them to promote it. The internet's going to do that by itself.
Yeah. The truck looks magnificent. Great job, Doc. And just in the nick of time, we just had a fresh sighting from Dredge Deep.
Fresh sighting, huh?
Alrighty. Well, considering how close it is to 1 o'clock, and of course Link here has a lot of things to do, we're going to save this $900 job for the next episode.
Holy, that looks very complicated.
Glad
you guys better bring the scaffolding.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'd like to thank Chaos for joining me in all this wonderful cleaning and insight and a lot of insight in the Phantom of the Opera and a few other things.
Chaos?
Chaos?
Yep, I'm still here.
Okay.
I'm still here. Sorry. Sorry, Bo. Just, my headset was,
Acting it.
yeah, acting a little bit up.
Okay.
But yeah, thank you. You're
Yeah,
welcome.
I'd like to thank the Linkzilla for his FNAF insight and his and a lot of the funnies that sometimes we've been told, some more than others, of course.
And I'd like to thank you guys for basically putting on the stream a bit early today.
Yeah. So yeah, next time we are cleaning the Ferris wheel back at the carnival. All this talk about
evil.
all
Yeah,
this
not
talk
the
about
cannibal.
cats. All this talk. Well, cats are carnivores, and all this talk about cats got me thinking that for some dumb reason. Anyways. All right, see you later, everyone. And remember, the real magic you have is your imagination. And one of the
meow.
yeah, and one of the cutest monster trucks ever.
And here's a little tip for all you inspiring writers out there. If your story basically involves a murder mystery surrounding the deaths and disappearance of several children, try to basically hang on to that mystery for as long as possible.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.